friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello and welcome. My name's Dee, aka The Messy Perfectionist, and on my channel I like to have real talk. I share inspirational and personal growth life tips and more. I am a certified holistic nutritionist as well as a certified life coach. I have been sharing a lot about my personal health journey, including but not limited to my VSG surgery, which I had on October 29th. So as you have seen from the title, I will be sharing with you guys my 6-month post-op update. 6 months. I cannot believe, where has 6 months gone? It is crazy how time just flies the older we get. I know I've probably said that before, but my goodness, it's just like, can it slow down just a little bit? Just a little. In this video, I will be sharing with you guys my weight loss progress that I've made, the stall that I have been going through, inches that I've lost on my body for the last month as well as to date, some of the challenges that I've had, and anything else that comes up during our conversation. If any of this sounds good to you and you are interested in my personal experience or maybe just learning a little bit more about VSG in general, please stay tuned. First off, I wanted to say Happy Mother's Day to all of the wonderful, nurturing people out there, whether you are a mom or not, a male or a female. I want to take this moment to just honor and acknowledge you, and I hope that you have a beautiful day and just take a moment for yourself and think about all of the beautiful people in your life whose lives you've touched, as well as the lives that have touched yours and that have been nurturers to you as well. We all have those people in our lives, whether they are biological family or not, that have impacted our lives in hopefully good ways. And it's nice to honor those people because they are lights to us on our journey and they should be acknowledged. And I am very grateful for all of the wonderful mothers in my own life. I am grateful to all the mothers in my life that I have had throughout the years, those people that have mentored me, have guided me, and have just helped me in some way, maybe so small that they didn't even notice. Thank you and happy Mother's Day. With that said, I will go ahead and continue with the topic of this video. I'll start with the weight loss that I've had for the month and also to date. I have only lost 4 pounds for the month of April. I have been going through a big stall. If you guys have been following along, you know that I have been having some thyroid issues. If you're new here, you haven't seen that video, I'll go ahead and I'll link up my thyroid crisis video up here. Some hormone stuff. So it's just, I don't know if that's been part of it. And I'm trying not to hang on to that too much because I did make progress in the inches that I've lost. And we'll get to that in a second. So I lost 4 pounds for the month of April. Basically, that didn't happen up until about like 2 weeks ago, or like a week before my 6-month anniversary date, probably I should say. I have lost 67 pounds to date. That is including the weight that I've lost on my pre-op diet. So, I mean, that is huge. Where I really see my progress for the month of April was in the inches that I lost on my body. It's interesting because even though I lost 9 pounds, I believe it was, for the month of March, I really didn't lose anything for inches. It was like hardly anything. So I lost less weight this past month, but I did lose more in inches. And I can definitely see that I'm more toned and feel it in my clothing. And I've even been able to start getting into that bucket of clothing that I had that was from when I was much smaller back in like 2016 and had lost my weight previously with HCG. And that's just crazy to me because even though back in 2016, I was probably about 15 to 20 pounds lighter than I am now when I could fit into those clothing. So even though I'm at a heavier weight, I'm able to fit into many of those things that I had in storage. Not all of them. I still haven't tried to fit into my size 12 jeans. But I think I'm getting there. I'm still wearing a size 14, but it's pretty loose. Like my jeans stretch out by, later in the day after wearing them. So, but I'm comfortable. I'm not trying to squeeze into anything. I want to be comfortable in the clothing that I'm wearing. And so it's not a rush there. I'll go ahead and I'll talk about what I actually lost for inches. And if you see me looking over, as always, I'm looking at my notes. So off of my waist, I lost an inch for April. That brought me to a total of 12 inches lost off of my waist. I lost an inch off of my hips, bringing me to 10 inches lost total. An inch off of my thighs. So I lost 5 inches in total off of my thighs. I didn't lose anything else off of my biceps, so I'm still at a 5-inch loss off of my arms. I lost 2 more inches off of my chest, bringing me to a 9-inch total loss. And I didn't lose anything off of my neck, so I'm still at 2 inches. It's interesting because the areas in my body that have more loose skin, it's harder for me to measure. And I wonder sometimes, I'm like, am I actually losing some inches there? And is it just because I got this loose skin? I'm not sure, but we just do the best we can with what we have. And, you know, that's really all we can do about anything in our lives, whether we're talking about weight loss or not, right? So my food and exercise has been about the same. I'm still going to the gym at least 4 days a week and balancing that between a day of recovery yin yoga with a vinyasa flow yoga, which is a little bit more difficult. Well, it is more difficult later in the week. And I strength train with body pump twice a week. And if I have the energy on the weekend, I will add one more day in doing a water class or something like that. I had been sick with a cold for a week, so I missed not this past week at the gym, but the week before. And I tell you what, just missing 1 week, I could feel the difference in my endurance and strength. It was just not there as much. I don't know if it was just because like I was still recovering some. I'm not sure, but it's really important for me to just be as consistent as I can where my body will let me be able to, because I feel such a difference when I, you know, go back. It's like harder all over again. Definitely feeling more tone, as I've mentioned, building more muscle. There's moments where I've, you know, felt my legs or my arms. And I'm like, oh yeah, there's muscle under there. So that's awesome. Like as far as body image goes, I have been struggling a little bit with the loose skin issue that I notice on my arms and my thighs. I mean, I've never had a rockin' body or anything. I've been plus size my whole life, but definitely when I have lost weight before, this was a mental challenge, and it's a challenge for me right now. As my best friend said today, I need to really just focus on my wins and how far I've come. Clothing that I fit into that didn't fit me before, I fit into it again now, even though I'm at a heavier weight than I was back when I fit into them. That's something to really feel proud of. I need to give myself that acknowledgement that comes from not just, you know, losing weight from eating a minimal amount of food. That is from my effort and getting my body back, getting physically strong again. And that has been a big focus for me since the beginning. I have said that I want to be the best version of myself so that I can be around healthfully. And I have a lot of physical challenges from that car accident that I had as a passenger when I was a teenager. In light of that, I've got this shoulder thing that has been bothering me since, I don't know, September or November, and finally got the x-ray on that. And I do have some bone thing that's like causing, I don't know what it's called. I can't remember, type 2 acronia. I'll try to look it up and put it in here, but where the bone is bending down. And I have osteoarthritis in that shoulder. And my husband said something, he asked me interesting. He goes, was that the arm you held out in the accident? And I said, yep, it was. And one of my last memories I have between the head-on collision and waking up was putting my arm out. And in this arm, my hand was broken, my wrist was broken. So I'm sure my shoulder took a lot of impact. It's crazy how years later, all of this stuff has become an issue. So it's frustrating for me. I'm frustrated with the thyroid situation. I've talked to you guys about that a little bit. My doctor had me run labs again, like I mentioned in my last video, and then they did call with a follow-up. And, you know, he mentioned in the notes that, you know, a thyroid suppressant could be available to me, but patient denies. Like I mentioned, I'm not wanting to do that right now. My labs show a little bit hyperthyroid, as I mentioned, though I have no hyperthyroid symptoms. I'm still dealing with chronic fatigue. I am still exhausted in the afternoon. I am at a weight loss stall, so I am not doing anything to suppress my thyroid at this point. I wear my Apple Watch. My heart rate is normal. It's maybe a little bit higher than it was. Like my resting heart rate before was like, could be around 50, 52, and it has been like 60. So I'm not worried about it. It's not like I'm having, my heart's racing. I'm not having any of those symptoms, but it's still it's like, I don't know if it's stress is the right word, but it just annoys me that I'm trying to do everything I can for my health. And I feel like it's always these like little things that just try to stand in my way. And I swear I don't try to look at it like that. It's just, that's how it feels sometimes. And particularly when it's stuff from the car accident thing that comes up. So it's just so frustrating. I just never would have thought that this, years later, I would have all these things because of that situation. But there's nothing that could be done. First of all, it was not my fault. And even if it was my fault, that was a long time ago, and there's nothing you can do, right? We can't change the past. We can only move forward and do the best we can from our experiences. So, I mean, that's kind of it in regards to my emotional health. I feel like doing good overall. It's just a little disappointed that I only lost 4 pounds for the month, and I still I haven't lost any weight this week, and I'm trying to just weigh once a week. I know that if I'm working out, the scale may not move as fast as I want to see it, but I'm not going to stop working out. Like that's ridiculous. Just to see a scale go down, but to lose muscle mass is silly in my brain. To be healthy and strong and feel good in my body is more important than the scale moving down. So I'm just trying to focus on that. But I do hope that my journey continues. There is a part of me that feels afraid and is worried that, is this it? Is this it? Okay, I lost 67 pounds and that's it. I was really hoping to lose, closer to 100 pounds lost. I really wanted to get there, and I don't know if it's going to happen. Now, are there things that I can be doing better? Probably. Like I have said, I still haven't moved towards an autoimmune paleo protocol fully, and I just don't know if I am right now. I am not emotionally and mentally ready to do that full on. I'm just not there. And maybe that's just from the years of doing so many restrictive diets and eliminating entire food groups, and I'm just really having a hard time with that. But I mean, there are things I can do better, and I know that, like eating less bread. I could stop making my sourdough. I keep talking about it because I'm Italian. I love bread. I love a good bread. I don't care about store breads, but I love a good homemade bread. I probably don't need to be having that, almost every day or something like that. But it's also really challenging because since I've had my surgery, there has also been a level of appetite change and food craving changes. I really don't have much of a desire to eat much meat, which I didn't do a lot of before, but now it's like really low. And the things that feel good to me when I eat without me feeling like a brick is in my belly, or like the things that satisfy me tend to be like more carbohydrate based. And I don't know if that's just because I'm working out really hardcore. I mean, you're doing body pump, you're burning like 400 or 500 calories or more. So it's a lot right there. And that's something health-wise I need to also be better about, is having something to eat before I go to the gym so I don't feel like I'm going to black out during a workout, which happened this last week. I didn't black out and crack my head on the floor, but I started seeing like the blackness, the stars that you're seeing over your face, and had to step out for a minute. And then of course then I remember and I think about it and I'm like, yeah, I didn't do my collagen and my decaf. I didn't have any protein shake. I just, was in a hurry getting myself ready and my daughter ready so we could go to the gym, and walked out the door. And the only thing that was on board was water from probably, 12 plus hours from the night before, so I need to be better about that in that way. I have been increasing my fluid intake. That was something that had been lacking a little bit, I feel like, over the last month or two. Like, I wasn't drinking quite as much as I had been before. I'm definitely making sure I drink more during my workouts. If I do not drink during my workouts as much as I should, I am paying for it for the rest of the day. I've probably mentioned that. So definitely something I have improved and could do even better with, drinking more water. And as far as personal goals kind of go and things I've been doing, besides just focusing on VSG, is I started writing again. Those of you that know me know that I love to write. I've been writing since I could write, and since I was, little. I have always loved reading and writing stories, and I had tons of journals growing up, and I just really believe in the self-therapy of journaling and how that helps you work through issues. And I had downtime while I was sick, and I go crazy when I have a lot of downtime. And so I just decided I've had these thoughts that I've been wanting to start putting down on paper, and did really well with putting down my kind of synopsis for my novel that I want to put together, of like my memoirs and my journey through life as it's gone. And it's been really great. It's been healing in a lot of ways, and also it has been challenging in some ways, because there's things that come up when you're writing about stuff that you're like, you remember. But I am a firm believer that if something is coming up, whether it's the first or the 100th time in your life, there is still work to be done around that. And sometimes that's hard to face, because we're like, wait, I've already had to deal with this 100 times. Why is it coming up again? Because it is. There's still something we got to work through around. But I'm excited. My long life goal is to complete and publish a novel, at least one. So I am working towards that, writing, at least every couple of days. And it's been very joyful for me overall. But that's kind of it. I do want to wish everyone a beautiful day out there, beautiful weekend. I am so glad to have this community here. If you have any questions or you would like to reach out to me directly, you can find me through my website, which is linked in the description below. And also, if you haven't done so and you'd like to sign up through my website for my to get email notifications and stuff, I do send out a monthly newsletter, and sometimes I will send like maybe one more through the month, but at least a monthly newsletter, although I think I might have skipped last month. I'm not sure. I will just share a little bit of insight, and then also I'll include generally my latest video. If you have any questions and you wanted to reach me directly, you can also reach me via email that way. I will respond to you just as soon as I can, I promise. As right now, I'm definitely at a place where I can keep up with it, so feel free to contact me. I'm also, of course, on Instagram, even though I don't do much there, and right now that's the only other social media that I have at the moment. But feel free to reach out to me any way that you see fit. I thank you all for the support. Remember to stay positive, but always stay true to yourself. And I will be talking to you guys later. Have a great day. Bye.